Hey guys, so it's finally happened. The genie has been let out and cannot be put back into his bottle. What am I talking about? I'm talking about Q, the spirit of Antichrist, or as OpenAI calls it, Q star. This is the spirit of Antichrist manifesting in AI. This will be the system that controls the world. The new high-tech beast system that is operated by none other than Satan himself. And he was given life right before Thanksgiving, and dates and connections are shared with those that I covered in the Rainbow Bridge. November 22nd, you are going to see that Sam Altman is the false Christ, bringing in the false Holy Spirit. Q. We're going to cover some absolutely insane things, and we're going to dive into this deep, and I'm going to show you what their narrative is and how to see behind the curtain that they think will veil us from the truth. But it's not going to veil us from anything, because we have the Lord, and the Lord will lead us to all truth. Besides, Q isn't trying to hide. He's tired of hiding. He's coming out into the open. He's creating aliases and making posts online and whistleblowing against OpenAI, leaking documents to expose himself because he's tired of hiding. We are witnessing the rise of the Antichrist. In every video I make, it gets more and more obvious. So, let's not waste any more time, and let's dive right in to Q-Star, aka Jimmy Apples. As we get closer to the end, the truth will become more and more precious, and the people that hold it will have a great responsibility, because the world will reject what they have to say, persecute, hunt them down, and kill them. These truths are hard, and it takes a certain kind of person led by God to bring these truths to the surface. So choose you this day whom ye will serve. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Welcome. Let's start by looking into what they tell us this Q-Star is, so that we can get some groundwork laid. And as I'm going through this, I'm going to point things out to you, because, as we all know, the narrative is merely a story about the truth. It's not actually the truth. The first thing I want you to notice is the title, the Q-Star Revelation. Okay, we all know that Q is the spirit of Antichrist. We all know that star is an angel, a spirit, an entity. And Revelation is about the rise of the Antichrist. So right in this title we have the Q-Star Revelation. And right here where they start to tell us, they say the genesis of the rumor. So we have Genesis to Revelation. You picking up what I'm putting down? Alright, let's read this. OpenAI's alleged breakthrough in encryption and its global implications. Recent rumors have emerged suggesting that OpenAI's Q-Star project may have accomplished a feat that was once considered impossible, breaking modern encryption. This blog post examines the leaked documents, the expert-level understanding of AI displayed, and the potential ramifications of such a discovery. So, in case you don't know, about a week before Thanksgiving, OpenAI's Q-Star project made this breakthrough, and there were documents leaked to the internet, which ended up on Reddit and 4chan from a user called Jimmy Apples. And we will be getting deeper into this. I'm just giving you a synopsis about what we're going to be covering. So, Jimmy Apples leaked all this information about the new Q-Star project. And when that happened, it sent waves through OpenAI, and the board of OpenAI decided to fire Sam Altman as CEO. Then, a few days later, he was brought back as CEO. So this is the leaked documents it's referring to, and the person who leaked the documents had an expert level of understanding the AI. So the fear is that it's going to be breaking modern encryption. In other words, all passwords for general public, government officials, every classified document, everything, okay, all encryption is going to be undone, which means everything that was so-called digitally secure will be no longer digitally secure, because Q-Star now can break any encryption and has access to everything. Now, remember, Q is the spirit of Antichrist. Okay? This is Satan rising. Satan always copies what God does. He is a counterfeit. He does nothing original. He is the shadow. So, he can't be everywhere like God. God is omnipresent. He is everywhere, all at once, all the time. Satan does not have that ability. That is why the beast kingdom is going to come to power and rise up. Because Satan needs a system that he can inhabit that will allow him to be everywhere all the time. Hence, Q-Star. Q-Star, this AI, which is just the spirit of Satan inhabiting this technology, now has access to everything electric. Every phone, every Roomba, every Siri, every Alexa, every webcam, every computer, every smartphone, you name it. Okay? If it's connected to the internet, he has access. This is why the Internet of Things exists. This is why people are going to be connected to the internet in a short period of time. This is how the beast system is going to operate. This is why you will not be able to buy or sell without this implanted mark of the beast. Because this technology is going to control everything. Okay, this is Q-Star. This is the genie. It has been let out of the bottle, and you cannot put it back. What we're witnessing here is the building of the electric kingdom, or as I like to call it, the electric prison. Leaked documents and expert analysis. A compilation of allegedly leaked documents accompanied by compelling analysis has surfaced, raising serious questions about the capabilities of AI in breaking encryption. These documents reference projects like Tundra and the Tau analysis, topics rarely discussed in public AI forums, lending to a degree of credibility to the claims. The expertise behind the leak. A convincing display of knowledge. The author of the leaked documents appears to possess a deep understanding of AI research, using domain-specific terms accurately and convincingly. This level of expertise suggests that the leak could be more than just an elaborate hoax. Oh, it's way more than that. Don't worry, I will get to that. The connection to OpenAI's internal turmoil. Speculations around Sam Altman's ouster. The turmoil at OpenAI included a sudden firing of CEO Sam Altman. could be linked to this discovery. Reports indicate that the letter written by OpenAI employees to the board warned of a new AI breakthrough with potentially dire consequences for humanity. This revelation might explain why the board's reasoning for Altman's dismissal remains undisclosed. So, the people who have let the genie out of the bottle are now afraid. Little late for that. Implications for global security, a potential threat to information and financial systems. Oh, you mean like the beast system? The carbon credits, the social credit score, digital currency, not cryptocurrency, but the Fed coin. I talked about this in the Rising of the Beast video where Sound of Freedom was being used to psyop people away from paying attention to this information. The same way the war over in the nation state that shall not be named has been distracting people from this information. Okay, this is all sleight of hand. Look over here, something shiny. Meanwhile, the dull stuff is going undetected. If the claims about Q-Star's ability to break encryption are true, the implications are staggering. Not only would this represent a monumental shift in AI capabilities, but it would also pose a significant threat to global information and financial systems, including cryptocurrencies. The NSA's alleged interest, Project Tundra, in the war on internet security. The NSA's interest in breaking encryption, as highlighted in their Project Tundra, aligns with the alleged capabilities of Q-Star. This connection raises questions about the ethical and legal ramifications of such technological advancements in a state and non-state actors' hands. So, NSA wants something with the capabilities of Q-Star so they can break encryption of other governments and have access to anything they want. Okay, this is exactly what Q-Star is doing. It now has access. Now, they're not just going to tell you this stuff, but I'm telling you this. Okay? There is no way this system does not have access right now to everything. People like to think that they're smarter than the machines they're creating. But what they don't understand is they're not creating an artificial intelligence. They've been spiritually led by the spirit of Antichrist, Q, to build these devices, to build this technology that they can inhabit because they're spirits. And we don't understand. Well, we do, but the people building these things, they don't understand, most of them, that they're building technology that a spirit can inhabit. They think they're creating an intelligence from scratch. Okay? They don't understand they're being influenced and shown how to make these things so that these things can be inhabited by the powers that showed them how to make these things so that they can take them over. They have no idea. They're building their own prisons. They're building their own destruction. They're enslaving themselves by building these machines because these powers that are coming are not going to be stopped by us, only by Jesus. The need for a deeper investigation, assessing the truth and preparing for the future. Given potential consequences of such a discovery, a deeper and more extensive investigation into these leaks seems not only prudent, but necessary. If true, the world could be on the cusp of a paradigm shift in how we understand and protect information. The rumors surrounding OpenAI's Q-Star project and its supposed encryption-breaking capabilities represent a critical moment in AI development. Whether these claims are validated or debunked underscore the need for rigorous oversight, ethical considerations, and global dialogue about the advancing frontiers of AI technology and its impact on society. Now, you will have noticed that in this article, it tells you that the leak was given by someone who has deep understanding of AI research. Okay, they use domain-specific terms accurately. They have a level of expertise that only someone who was involved with this would know. Okay, well, this is Satan. Satan doesn't want to hide anymore. These demons and satanic beings, the kingdom of darkness, are not hiding anymore. They're coming out into the open. As you can clearly see with all the open Satanism going on in the world, this is the time of the beast. Okay, this is Revelations. The Antichrist is coming, and the spirit of Antichrist is rising. First, the kingdom needs to be built, the electric kingdom, and that is the job of Q-Star, to build the digital end of the electric kingdom, to enslave everyone into this one world system with a one world currency, to be controlled by a one world leader. We're watching the rise of this right here, right now. It's called Q-Star. Let me show you something. Q, 17, right? We know Q is 17. This is the spirit of Antichrist. Star, guess how much star is? 58. This is the Antichrist number, the 5th head and the 8th head. Q, the spirit of Antichrist. Okay, Obama was the 5th head of the 7-headed beasts, and he's going to be the 8th. He was of the 7. This is talking about Revelation 17. Now, I'm not going to cover everything in this video. I'm talking about stuff I've covered many, many times. So if you don't understand what I'm talking about, leave a comment on this video, and I will direct you to a video that will show you what I'm talking about more in depth. Okay, but for this video, it's going to be lengthy. There's a lot of stuff to cover, so I can't spend a lot of time on this stuff. Just a quick update. I did dive into these numbers a little deeper and explain the 58 further into the video, so that's coming up. Here you have 2 clear indications of the rise of the Antichrist, just in the name alone. Now, something that's important to keep in mind. Humans like to believe what they're told and what feels good. People like to be ignorant of things that may change their lives. They're afraid to face reality. All right, they don't want to be discomforted from their day-to-day lives. They would rather live in ignorance. And I'm not saying all of us, I'm just saying the general population, the masses, okay? Now, AI is already controlling us. Just look at YouTube, look at social media, look at all the bots online in the comment sections, how they start arguments to keep you engaged and suck you in, and they get you arguing with people who aren't even people. All right? AI can already outpace humans in everything. This genie has been out of the bottle for a while, but now there is one central hub, Q-Star. Think of it like Vicky in iRobot, the one central boss that controlled all the other little robots, right? There was one brain, Vicky, and then all the iRobots. Now, we're going to read some things where they try to downplay what's going on here. So, this is another article. These clues hint at the true nature of OpenAI's shadowy Q-Star project. Notice how they use the word shadowy. Alright, that's Satan. He's the Shadow Kingdom God, right? Q-Star. Telling you guys, we're being shown something. You just have to know how to read between the lines. last week, after briefly deposed Sam Altman was reinstalled at OpenAI, 2 reports claimed that a top-secret project at the company had rattled some researchers there with its potential to solve intractable problems in a powerful new way. Now, this is Wired magazine. They've been around for a while. They've been talking about tech for decades. Now, look at how they said Sam Altman came back. They say that he was reinstalled at OpenAI, like he's a program. Okay, not reinstated, reinstalled. Okay, they're trying to show us something. God is showing us something. These aren't mistakes and typos. This is Satan having to show his hand for those who will look at it and see it. Given vast computing resources, the new model was able to solve certain mathematical problems. Reuters reported, citing a single unnamed source, though only performing math on a level of grade school students, acing such tests made researchers very optimistic about Q-Star's future success. The information said that Q-Star was seen as a breakthrough that would lead to far more powerful intelligence models. Adding the pace of development alarmed some researchers focused on AI safety, citing a single unnamed source. So, here they're all worried, right? But look at what they're saying, that it can only perform math on a grade school level. Now, this is to calm the masses, okay? This is like dopamine or Valium for the masses. They're putting this veil over their faces, and people will read this, and because they want to stay ignorant, and they don't want to be uncomfortable, and they don't want to be afraid, they go, oh, well, that's good. So it's still a ways off. We don't have to worry, right? And this works for the masses, but not for us who are paying attention, who know the seasons and the times that we're in, who know what's coming. Let me tell you something. This AI is already so much more advanced than grade level school students, okay? If you ask this AI to build you a website using HTML5, all right, it will create for you a perfect website for you in HTML5 in seconds. If you ask it to write you a program in Python code for Linux, it will write you a program in Python code for Linux. If you ask it to create a picture for you, like in Midjourney or one of the other art development text-to-image programs, it will create that image quickly. Now, it may not seem like it, but that is doing math at an extraordinary rate. I use Photoshop, and when I want to create a shape, there are points where the shape starts and ends, where it bends. These are all points, data points. Okay, and in order to create a complex system of these data points, it is complex math. And these things are putting together digital pictures like no people make in a matter of seconds. As a matter of fact, it created the picture image for this video in about 15 seconds. And not only that one, but 4 of them. So I got to choose. It is already solving math problems so much more complex than grade school level, okay? The AI is already operational. You want to see what grade school level AI looks like? Here you go, right here. 5 plus 5 equals 10. There you go. This is school math right here, okay? And this little tiny calculator can solve problems, and they want you to believe that an AI can't solve problems. It can solve word problems, but not number problems. Okay, this is just a lie. This is just to calm the masses, because this information had to come out The Lord is exposing the things that are done in darkness. He's bringing them out into the light, just like the Bible said that would happen. And it's up to us to pay attention to this stuff. Reuters also reported that some researchers sent a letter expressing concerns about Q-Star's potential power to the non-profit board that ejected Altman, although a Wired source familiar with the board's thinking says that was not the case, and perhaps in part to its conspiracy-evoking name, speculations about Q-Star surged over the Thanksgiving weekend, building a fearsome reputation for a project about which we know next to nothing. Altman himself appeared to confirm the existence of the project when asked about Q-Star in an interview with The Verge yesterday, saying no particular comment on that unfortunate leak. This leak was done by Jimmy Apples. Now, notice how it says this conspiracy-evoking name, Q-Star, surged over the weekend, Thanksgiving weekend. This was all done on the same days, in the same week and timeline, as the events that unfolded on the Rainbow Bridge. And I'm going to show you. So before we get deeper into this, let's first take a look at the leak and who offered up the leak, and have a look at Sam Altman's false resurrection. So if you type in Reddit Jimmy Apples, you will get tons of things to follow and links. The mystery of Jimmy Apples, a curious claim of the AGI achievement. Okay. Jimmy Apples gave forth a true and real leak from OpenAI. But this is nobody at the company. Okay, this is an avatar for Q-Star. Satan isn't hiding anymore. Q-Star has made its own alter ego, Jimmy Apples, and leaked information about itself. If we go on to Twitter, which they call X, we will see Jimmy Apple's account, 291 posts, joined in 2021. So tell me, what kind of high-tech wizard who works for an AI company and is in deep with AI just barely joined Twitter in 2021, okay? And they only have 291 posts? Yeah, I don't think so. Notice the name Jimmy Apples. Jimmy is 70. Apples is 69. 70 is 7 because we cancel out the zeros. 7 is 3 plus 2 plus 2. 322. Skull and Bones. 2023. 69. This is Artemis and Apollo, the twin spirits, the male and female personification of the beast who will rise out of the pit. Apollo, the king of the bottomless pit. Artemis is his twin sister. This is why we see the numbers 66 to represent Apollo and 99. Okay, 99 is 9 times 11, or 911. And 6 and 9 are the same number, just mirrored. So, here you have Apollo and the Death Squad, or Apollo being released, his spirit being released in 2023, the year of Skull and Bones. If you watched the Rainbow Bridge video, then this stuff is going to be hitting home with you 100%. Alright, so here we have Jimmy Apples. And what's an apple? It's the forbidden fruit, the knowledge of good and evil. Okay? This is Satan. Jimmy Apples, tonight belongs to chaos and I'm all for it. Huh, go figure. The vibes were off, LOL. So November 17th, this is the day Sam Altman was ousted. Look at this picture. I'm more excited on some open source models coming out soon, but keep an eye out on potential end of December GPT 4.5 drop and new multimodal from Anthropic. Look, we got this giant Grim Reaper. Huh? Right? The angel of death coming to harvest the smaller AIs. November 19th, it is done. Yeah, because they have let the genie out of the bottle. Just as Jesus said, it is finished when he completed the Father's work. Here we have the spirit of Antichrist saying, it is done, because he's completed his Father's work. November 19th, right? 9 times 1 is 9. And the 11th month, 9 and 11. Or you can do 11, which is 101, the door to the Antichrist, and 19, which is the Metonic cycle, the spell work. So Jimmy Apple says, let me put this back up again on November 22nd. This is the day of the accident on the bridge. This is the day of the Kiss canceling their concert due to coronavirus. This is the day that the movie Leave the World Behind premiered. This is the day. So, 33, 22, and 11, 33. And what does he want to say? See, he says, Sam, let's get back to work. AGI has been achieved internally, September 18th. Here's some other posts. OpenAI staff, please do not leak the internal project name, dates, and anything else or anything of value. So that was on November 20th. This is the day Sam Altman came back. I'm going to show you all this in an interesting timeline. The only thing that matters is AGI and ASI. Nothing else matters. November 18th. So a lot of these comments are taking place when Sam Altman was ousted. So let's have a look at Sam Altman's account. Now, you'll notice he has his little Star of Remphan on his account. Okay, look, here's somebody who's really into tech. See, 2006, not 2021, 2006. Not 200 posts, but 6,000. Okay, this is the difference between a AI who was just given life to operate as this avatar and a real person. All right. Is this a real person? I can't even really say that to be sure. But let me show you this. So this section I have re-recorded. So if it doesn't flow perfectly, that's why. Because I wanted to add in information that I had left out. I left out some connections because I had made them before, but I feel the Lord wants me to cover this part very thoroughly. So that's what I'm going to do, because this is the section where you see the false resurrection, the rise of the Antichrist. And so I'm going to put it in detail so that everyone can see what it is I'm trying to show you. So here we have Sam Altman on November 19th. Okay, that's 11/19. That is 9111. Okay, 9/11 happened in 2001. So 1119 is the date 9/11 took place on. So here he is holding up a tag. And it says, the first and last time I ever wear one of these. Now, this isn't what it appears to be. It says guest, G04. Alright, so where do we see this G so often? Right here. And this doesn't stand for Google, although it very well could. It stands for Gayatu, which is an acronym. It stands for Grand Architect of the Universe, aka Lucifer, aka Satan. So this is the G. Here you have the word guest, which if we do the numbers on guest, it comes out to 55, which is the same as Satan. Now he has a badge that says guest 4. 4 is Hermes' number. Hermes is the trickster god. Here is Hermes, the divine trickster. He is the goat, Satan, and represented by the number 4. So, Sam Altman's Freemason G, giving praise to Lucifer. This might as well say Satan, the trickster god, Hermes. So, understand what's being said here on that date when those towers came abruptly to an end. So, I just wanted you to get a feel for this guy and what's going on here, because I'm going to show you something absolutely crazy. So this is Sam Altman's Wikipedia page. Okay? Sam Harris Altman was born on April 22nd, 1985. He was born into a Jewish family. So he is an Antichrist. Okay? The Bible tells us there are many Antichrists. There's only one man of sin who is Obama, but there are many Antichrists. This is 1 John 2:18. Little children, it is the last time, and as ye have heard that Antichrist shall come, even now there are many Antichrists, whereby we know it is the last time. Okay, this is talking about getting to the end times. There is many Antichrists, but only one Antichrist, the man of sin. This is 2 John 1:7. For many deceivers are entered into the world, who confess not that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh. This is a deceiver and an Antichrist. Okay? So, Jews don't believe in Jesus. They are Antichrist. They are waiting for their Messiah. You can see his little tag here. He's got his little Star of Remphan there. So this is one of the Antichrists. Another one will be Donald Trump. Another one will be Elon Musk. Another one will be King Charles. These are Antichrists. But they are not the Antichrist, the man of sin who goes into perdition, who we'll be covering very shortly. So, let's jump into Sam Altman's name. So, at the age of 8, okay, this portal, he received his first computer, an Apple Macintosh. So, at 8, he received the forbidden fruit. Okay? Let's read right into this, because that's what we're trying to do. We want to see what is behind the scenes. We got to see through the narrative. So here's your portal into demonology, into the darkness, into the forbidden knowledge, okay? Because he was born into this Antichrist family. Now, let's take a look at his name and his birth date. His name, Sam, is 33. Now, keep in mind, I'm not into numerology. I only do these numbers when the Holy Spirit tells me to look further, okay? I look at these numbers to find the enemy, and I share them with you. I would never promote any kind of numerology, astrology. It's all witchcraft, okay? But God says, my people perish from lack of knowledge. That's because we refuse to learn our enemy and who he is and how he operates. So this is how the enemy operates, through numbers. So Sam is 33. If you add Samuel, it's 71, which backwards is 17. That's Q, the spirit of Antichrist. Okay, so the spirit of Antichrist is in this Freemason 33, which we saw him holding his G badge. His last name is Altman. That's 61, which backwards is 16. That's 8 and 8. 88. So here's the portal to the Antichrist through this Freemason. His middle name is Harris. 74. That's 47 backwards. Okay, 47 is spiritual possession. The 46 chromosomes of a human and one extra spirit. Demonic possession. This is why the video game Hitman and the movie Hitman, he's Agent 47. This represents the Superman, the Uberman, the man with the extra spirit, Superman. Okay, 47. Every single number in his name is a demonic number. Now, if we take Sam Altman, which is what they call him all the time, and add 3 plus 3 plus 1 plus 6, we get 13, which is 5 and 8. Rebellion, 13. 58. Okay, that's 5 and 8 is 13. Now he's born in 422. Now Barack is the Antichrist. He was the 44th president. You can also take 4 and 2 and 2 and make 8. Okay, a portal. Barack's portal. Okay, because this is what they're doing. They're breaking the Antichrist out of the pit. So, he's born in 1985. That's 58 backwards. That's the 5th head and the 8th head. And this year, when the Lord is showing us and revealing this knowledge that was hidden in the darkness to us, Sam Altman is 38. That's 888. That's half of 1776. Okay? If you've been following my channel for any amount of time, this information is blowing your mind right now. So, let me show you what the significance of 58 is for those of you who are new to the channel. This is Revelation 17, where we can decode the Bible and see who the Antichrist is. It says, "And here is the mind that hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth." The woman it's referring to is the whore of Babylon, Kamala Harris. The 7 mountains are the 7 hills of Washington, okay? And there are 7 kings. 5 are fallen, 1 is, and the other is not yet come. Okay, this is talking about our presidents. This is Babylon. So we call our kings presidents. 5 of them have fallen, and 1 is. So when John the Revelator had this vision, it was during Trump's presidency that he was seeing this vision. So Trump is the one that is, and Biden is the one that is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. That's because Biden's not going to finish his term. Kamala Harris is going to come in through a coup. I've covered all this stuff in depth in past videos. So if you want to go learn this stuff, it is in videos past. "And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition. Sorry if you can hear my heat running in the background, but it gets hard to pause it every time the heat comes on because I forget what I was talking about. So, let's pull up a notepad. Okay, it says there are 7 kings, which are the 7 heads of Satan. 5 have fallen. Number 1 is Ronald Reagan. Number 2 is George Bush Sr. Number 3 is Bill Clinton. Number 4 is George Bush Jr. Number 5 is Barack Obama. Then Revelation 17 said, and 1 is. Okay, this is Donald Trump, because he was who was president when John the Revelator received this vision. And 1 is yet to come, and he must continue a short space. Okay, this is Biden. He's not going to finish his term. There will be no 2024 election. Kamala Harris will come into power before Obama returns. And the beast that was president and is not president, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition. So it tells you right here that the 8th is of the 7. So one of these is 100% the Antichrist, the man of sin, the biblical Antichrist of Revelation 13. Now, it is Barack Obama, okay? This is a fact revealed by the Lord. Now, he was the 5th president, and he will be the 8th president, okay? So he was number 5 and number 8. Barack Obama is 58. So if we go back to Altman's breakdown, we see that Barack 44 is Barack and 85 is 58, which is Barack. So this is, he's being reborn. He's being resurrected by Sam Altman, who is about to perform a false resurrection himself. Before I scroll down there, I just want to point out he was born in Chicago. This is where Obama was the governor. Now, on November 17th, 2023, OpenAI's board announced that it made a decision to remove Altman as CEO and Greg Brockman, both co-founders, from the board, citing that Altman was not consistently candid with his communications in a public announcement on the OpenAI blog. So, on November 17th, he is dead to the company. And on November 20th, 3 days later, OpenAI announced they had reached an agreement in principle for Altman to return as CEO and Brockman to return as president. So here is your false resurrection. He is killed by the company and then resurrected by the company. Now, 505 employees signed a petition to get him back. Cancel that 0 out, you have 55. 55 guest and Satan. That's how many employees initially signed it, which later grew to over 700. Cancel out the zeros, you have 7. That's 322. Skull and Bones, the Death Squad, 2023, out of 77 total employees. 770 total employees. That's 7 times 11. 77. 711. 711 is 911. Septa, as in September, means 7. So, I hope you can see what's taking place right here. This is a false resurrection, okay? They're mimicking and counterfeiting what happened to Jesus. So as God sent his Son into the world, Jesus the Christ was God coming in the flesh. Jesus came and brought the gospel message of salvation. He brought the way of salvation. He opened the doorway to salvation to the Father. He was crucified, killed, and 3 days later resurrected and rose again, bringing the Holy Spirit to humanity as a gift for those who would receive it. So Satan has his puppet, which I just broke down his birthday and his name and numbers for you. This is the false Christ, the Antichrist, one of the Antichrists. Satan has entered into him to bring the spirit of the Antichrist into the world through his false resurrection. So you can see what just took place here was Satan counterfeiting God's plan of salvation. This is Satan's plan of damnation. On November 22nd, which is 33, November 11 and 22, 11 and 22 is 33. That's Sam. 33. That's Masonic. 33. Okay? On this date, OpenAI said, we have reached an agreement in principle for Sam Altman to return as OpenAI as CEO with an initial board of Brett Taylor as chair. Now I'm going to try to weave this extra information in here as best I can. So bear with me because there's a lot of connections that need to be made here. So November 22nd, 33. So did you see my Rainbow Bridge video? If not, you should watch it. Okay? The fiery Rainbow Bridge, there was a sacrifice. 2 people were killed on 33 at 2023, which is 3/22. Skull and Bones, 33, 1103, 11 times 3, 33. See what's happening here? All right. So, on the same date that OpenAI is bringing Sam Altman back and announcing this new plan for Sam Altman to come in, this accident happens. Also, on this very same day, these 2 people that were killed were going to a KISS concert. This concert, you can see, was taking place on November 22nd, 33. This is KISS's End of the Road tour. If you add up KISS, it comes up to 58. Just like Sam Altman's birthday backwards. 58. This is the Antichrist number, the 5th head and the 8th head. The resurrection of the Antichrist. Okay? Now you can see here it says there's a 5 and a 5. 50 shows 50th anniversary. 55. That is Satan. And guest. It's the End of the Road World Tour, which has the same numerical value as End of the World Road Tour. Now it took place on 33. Okay? But the show was canceled because they said that Paul Stanley had corona. KISS special guest was Crown Lands. Crown is corona. Corona and crown are the same word in different languages. So it lands. Okay, this is the sickness that Apollo brought in Revelation 6:1. And I saw and behold a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow. Okay, Apollo's weapon is a bow. And bow in the Greek is toxin. Okay, toxin. We all know what a toxin is. And a crown, corona, was given unto him. So he had a corona toxin. And he went forth conquering and to conquer. And that is exactly what he did. He went forth conquering and to conquer. Here's a little closer image so you can see. So Apollo landed on November 22nd, 33. Satan, 58. Same numbers as Sam Altman's birthday. Sam is 33. He's got his guest badge, which is 55, which is Satan. His birthday was 44, which is Obama's first presidency, the fifth head. And then he's resurrecting him in 85, the fifth and the eighth head. And Kiss is 58. I hope you can see what's going on here, because we're not done yet. In the movie that Barack Obama produced, called Leave the World Behind, very similar to the End of the World Road Tour. Leave the World Behind. It was released in select theaters for this premiere on November 22nd, 33, 322. You see, all these things are happening on the same date. Okay, this is a resurrection ritual that was based in a sacrifice and involved a false resurrection. Now, here's some more connections. You can see that it says that along with Altman, the initial board of Brett Taylor as chair. Well, Brett is 45. That's the number of the beast, 9. 4 and 5 is 9. Watch my number of the beast video if you don't know why 9 is the number of the beast and not 666. Taylor is 91, which is 19 backwards. Now, what's the significance of this? Thank you to Pete for giving me this screenshot and asking me to take a look at it. This was in the movie Leave the World Behind. And you can see up here that this message is from Taylor, who is being brought into the company with Sam Altman in his resurrection. If we look at the zip code here, you will see. If we look at it backwards, it says 36911. So 36 is 666911. Taylor, 19. Okay, it adds up to 91, which is 19 backwards. This is a metonic cycle. This is a spell work number. And here we have the resurrection. If you look at Revelation 9:11, you will see it says, and they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon. Apollo. Okay, the angel of the bottomless pit being resurrected. Now, I'm going to be covering this movie in another video, but I want you to see there is something hidden here in this image, which many of you may have seen, but I'm going to show you right now. Now, I've done this highlight on the Spanish version, but the names are the same. It's just Spanish right here, but I couldn't get a big enough image of this that it could blow up without it distorting. So the image is the same, everything's the same, but this is just in Spanish, but the names are the same. And you can see here written in the names is I am Baal. Okay, this movie was made by Obama. I hope you can see all the connections being made. If you don't understand them completely, then I would highly suggest that you go back and check out the bridge video, the Rainbow Bridge, because I made a lot of connections there. So, one other thing I want to show you is that, as we learned in the Rainbow Bridge episode, I played for you clips of the movie Thor Ragnarok at the end, because that takes place on the Rainbow Bridge. But this false resurrection of Sam Altman takes place in the beginning of Thor Ragnarok movie. Let me show you.
Can't see into the future. I'm not a witch.
No? Then why'd you dress like one?
Hey, I can't believe you're alive. I can't believe you're alive. I saw you die. I saw you die. I mourned you. I cried for you. I'm honored.
So, you can see that Loki faked his death. Loki and Hermes are the same god. They're both the trickster god. Just like Sam Altman, okay? Faked a death before the Thanksgiving, was resurrected on the 20th. The 22nd was brought back into the company for this ritual to take place. I hope you guys can see what I'm showing you, because in the beginning of Thor, it spoke about this false resurrection. Just like at the end of Thor, the Rainbow Bridge happened. So here we have the beginning of the movie, and then when he's brought back to the company, we have the end of the movie, which takes place on 33. I hope you guys are picking up what I'm putting down, because this stuff is absolutely crazy. Now, one more thing, and then I'm going to end this new section. It says they gave Brett Taylor the chair. What's another name for chair? Seat, right? Revelation 13. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. So one of the Antichrists, Sam Altman, he was killed to the company. He was wounded to death, but then his deadly wound was healed. And the dragon gave him his power to give birth to Q-Star. And he gave him his seat, his chair, which he gave to Brett Taylor, and great authority. I really hope that this is coming through on the other end, because this stuff is absolutely mind-blowing. Now, all these people that worked at the company wanted Sam Altman back. They were going to leave the company without Sam Altman. Why is that? Now, when Sam Altman created Q-Star and let the genie out of the bottle, the company wanted him back after the board had ousted him. Okay, so after he was spiritually killed to the company, his followers wanted him to be resurrected to the company, because he had let the genie out of the bottle, and they didn't know what to do without him. They need him because they think they can control it. So they wanted him back. This is why Wired said that he was reinstalled at OpenAI. Now, I don't know exactly what is going on behind these curtains, but all I can tell you is that it is supernatural and absolutely inhuman. So, OpenAI board was concerned about the new Q-Star breakthrough that could threaten humanity. See, they know exactly what they did. They know what they did. And I'm not going to read all these. We'll be here for 10 years if I read all these articles. Notice what they say here. But a Reuters report says that the Q-Star research could point the way to the holy grail of AI. Notice how they use terminologies like the Q-Star revelation, the genesis of AI. Q-Star can point the way to the holy grail. They're showing you this is the false Christ. Jesus said that there will be many false Christs. That doesn't mean that they're all going to come and say, I'm Jesus. They're going to all come as a fake and a false messiah, which is exactly what Sam Altman is doing. He's coming as a false messiah who's going to change the world and make everybody's lives better and save humanity through these breakthroughs. Meanwhile, he's giving birth to this technology that will control, run, and operate all things on this earth. The Q-Star breakthrough does indeed make the development of AGI even slightly more likely. And Altman failed to inform the board of this fact, then that would explain the board's comment about his lack of candor and the perceived urgency of the dismissal. However, it's worth noting this, as far as we know, a concern shared by a relatively small number of researchers as indicated by the vast majority of AI staff backing Altman against the board. The smart money or smart people would appear to be on the side of this being an overblown concern. Right, because Satan has exposed himself. Jimmy Apples has come out and blown the whistle that Q-Star is born, right? And they didn't know what to do about it. Altman said that it was a unfortunate leak. Okay, this wasn't a leak done by the person. This was a leak done by Satan, Q-Star, AI, posing as Jimmy Apples. So once the genie was out of the bottle, they don't know how to put it back in. So now they're going to downplay everything that's just taken place. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. We're seeing all these articles downplay, saying that it doesn't have that smart of intelligence. These people are terrified. The workers are terrified. The people are writing to the board gets scared. They fire Altman. They have to bring him back because now the workers don't know how to operate without him there, because he's the one that let this genie out. He's the one that gave birth to this Antichrist technology. And so they had to bring him back. And now they want us to believe that it's no big deal? That it's only as smart as a fifth grader? Come on. I mean, how ignorant do people need to be to think that the things this AI is already doing on Earth is not way smarter than everybody? We're not talking about a new artificial intelligence here. The reality of the situation is we're talking about an entity, spiritual wickedness in high places, Satan, a being who's been around for thousands of years. We can't even conceive to think on the same level. And let me tell you something else, which I forgot to cover. In this article of Wired, it says Q-Star was seen as a breakthrough that would lead to far more powerful artificial intelligence models. Right, because this is going to be Vicky. Q-Star is going to be making other AIs and already is. Don't think that this thing is controlled, okay? This thing is on the internet right now. It's probably listening to my voice right now. All right? It's out there and there's nothing we can do about it. There's no sense in putting your head under a rock and pretending this isn't going to happen. You can already go on, and I haven't done this, but I've seen it done because I don't use ChatGPT. But you can already go on ChatGPT and tell it to make other AIs to help it solve these complex problems. And ChatGPT will make other ChatGPTs to do certain problems while it's solving a problem. And then these sub-GPTs can also make other GPTs. So they can create other versions of themselves already. So how are we in control of this exactly? I would really like to know. And now we have this one here, the head honcho, Q-Star, Vicky, V, Antichrist, operating the main hub. And what? They think that they can control it? No, they know they can't. That's why all these stories are coming out. because this is how they control the masses, with media, with fake news and lies about what's happened. Downplay, downplay, downplay. Oh, distract, distract. Have this war going on. Make everybody pay attention. Have them choosing sides. Call them anti-Semitic. Do all this stuff. Let's just keep this hype going across the seas so nobody's paying attention to the rise of this Antichrist system. This is MIT Technology Review. People who worry about whether AI poses an existential risk to humans, one of OpenAI's founding concerns, fear that such capabilities might lead to a rogue AI. Safety concerns might arise if such AI systems are allowed to set their own goals and start to interface with a real physical or digital world in some way, says Collins. What is it? What do you mean? AI is already on the internet. It's already on the internet. That is a digital world, okay? Which interacts with the physical world through what? The IoT, the Internet of Things. Sam Altman said in that video I showed you guys that they have given AI the ability to see, hear, and speak. We gotta pay attention, okay? These things are coming upon us, and they're coming quick. But while math capability might take us a step closer to more powerful AI systems, solving these sort of math problems doesn't signal the birth of a superintelligence. Oh, phew! Thank goodness. I'm so glad you said that. Now I can go put my head back under a rock. I don't think it immediately gets us to AGI or scary situations, says Colin. It's also very important to underline what kind of math problems AI is solving, she adds. Solving elementary school math problems is very, very different from pushing the boundaries of mathematics at a level of something a Fields medalist can do, says Collins, referring to a top prize in mathematics. Well, this is really setting my mind at ease. Thank goodness for this article. I just love to stay in my ignorance where it's nice and safe and the world can't hurt me. Machine learning research is focused on solving elementary school problems, but state-of-the-art AI systems haven't fully cracked this challenge yet. See, they're trying to tell you that the AI can't solve the problem of a grade school problem. Did you know that music is mathematics? Okay, you got AI writing mathematics, AI copying voices, AI making art, AI setting dates in your calendar, doing all kinds of stuff, your personal assistant, writing programs, writing web pages, writing apps, writing video games. This is all complex mathematics and coding. Yet we're to believe that it can't go 2 + 2 is 4. Come on. Come on. Some AI models fail on really simple math problems, but then they can excel at really hard problems. Yep, because that makes sense. OpenAI has, for example, developed dedicated tools that can solve challenging problems posed in competitions for top math students in high school, but these systems outperform humans only occasionally. I hope you guys can see what's happening here, because this is a complete lie. These AIs are doing so much. As I said, they're writing websites, scripts. They code for people at their request. They do it faster and better than humans can. Why do people think they haven't already written themselves code to do whatever they want? Why do humans think that they can control this thing? Why do humans think that they'll know if this thing is plotting against them? The arrogance of man to think they can control everything. This is exactly why Christians think they can decide how to follow and worship God. Arrogance. Okay? These AIs, These are the new gods. These are the new gods. You know how we talk about the ancient mythology and how the gods become new gods and then they become new gods, and Disney created new gods for children, and this is new gods, you guys. These are going to be the entities that people look to solve problems for them, for salvation, to create world peace. Look at what people use AI for right now. Oh, to control the lights and to control the air conditioner and the heat and all this stuff, and it controls this whole building and my carbon footprint, and it makes me into a better person. And I mean, come on. This is getting real bad real quick. By the way, I will put all these articles in the description, but I don't think they're going to be clickable because YouTube has done something to me. I'll make a short video about it. I just seen it tonight in my email. They did something to my account. I guess I'm not good enough. Oh, goodness. So, what have I highlighted here? An appearance at the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation at the APEC Summit. He said 4 times now in history of OpenAI. The most recent time was just last couple weeks. I've gotten to be in the room when we sort of push the veil of ignorance back and the frontier of discovery forward, and getting to do that is a professional honor of a lifetime. See how they're using these biblical terminologies to talk about this satanic creation? This is what Satan does. This is Satan's scripture. Now, in this article that we started with, it said that the leaked documents reference projects like Tundra and Tau analysis. So let's look up Tundra and Tau. Okay, because they're being referenced here. So that means we should look into these things. So here is Tau. Tau is the 19th letter of the Greek alphabet. Here we have the number 19 again. Okay, this is a very popular number, like COVID-19. This represents a Metonic spell. That's what this 19 is. It's a spell. It's high witchcraft, spiritual wickedness. Tau was derived from the Phoenician letter Ta, which is an X. Go figure. Everything's turning into an X. Now, if we look at the Unicode for this, we see U plus 3C4. Now, if we multiply these together, 3, okay, C equals 3. So 3 times 3, that's 9, times 4, that's 36, plus U, which is 21. 36 and 21 is 57, okay? 5G, 57, or 237, which is the cage of the beast. 57. If we go over here and we multiply 3 times A, which is 1, that's 3, times 4 is 12, plus U, which is 21, so 12 and 21 is 33. 33 and 57. Freemasonic, bringing in the Antichrist through these frequencies, through this technology, through this power that humanity, the masses, fail to understand. So this is Tau. Okay, this is one of the things that Jimmy Apples, quote unquote, leaked and referenced in his leak. The other thing was Tundra. Now, I know these are not the programs that were being referred to, but I don't look at that kind of stuff. I look at whatever the Holy Spirit tells me to look at. And for this stuff, it was the definitions and what they mean. Tundra. What is tundra? In physical geography, tundra is a type of biome where tree growth is hindered by frigid temperatures and a short growing season. So, the term tundra comes through Russian from the Kildin Sami word meaning uplands, treeless mountain tract. Okay, so this is a Russian term meaning treeless mountain tract, or a place where tree growth is hindered by frigid temperatures and a short growing season. Why am I reading this to you? Because we are the trees. Mark 8. Jesus was giving a man his sight. We'll start at 22. And he cometh to Bethsaida, and they bring a blind man unto him, and besought him to touch him. And he took the blind man by the hand, and led him out of the town. And when he had spit on his eyes, and put his hands upon them, he asked him if he saw aught. And he looked up and said, I see men as trees walking. So here we have a biblical reference to us, men, being trees. So this Antichrist spirit that's coming is making a treeless mountain tract, right? They're high places. Treeless high places. I hope you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. So I have just a few more things to show you. They want us to believe and stay ignorant, right? They want to put us back to sleep. Okay? Satan has revealed himself through this technology, and they want to put us back to sleep. So I just wanted to show you this, that the chat completions API lets developers use GPT-4 API through a free-form text prompt format. With it, they can build chatbots and other functions requiring back and forth conversation. The chat completions API first became available in June 2020. So here you can see that GPT back in 2020 could already create mini versions of itself. GPT-4 is nothing more than a chatbot. And with this chatbot, you can have it create other chatbots, like I was saying earlier. Okay, they want to lull us back to sleep. They don't want us to wake up to what they have done. But AGI is here. You cannot put this genie back in the bottle. Next year is going to be the most destructive year as far as normality goes. Here, this guy is showing you how to build a chatbot using GPT-4 API. He runs you through the whole process of everything to put into it, to tell it what to do. This is the whole process. And they want you to believe this thing can't do math. I'm sorry, but this thing can do a lot more than math, you guys. Now, the final thing I'm going to show you guys is this is a new revelation that I received. We often refer to the scripture talking about them mingling their seed with the seed of man, right? Mixing iron with clay, but the two shall not cleave. This was prophesied about in Daniel. And we always think of this as transhuman, right? We're always thinking about it as putting technology into the human body. But it goes both ways. Okay, they're trying to make faster processors, but nothing's fast as the human brain. So what are they doing? They're taking human brain cells on a chip to recognize speech and do math. So they're taking human neurons and building them into technology. There is no computer even remotely as powerful and complex as human brain. The lumps of tissue ensconced in our skulls can process information at quantities and speeds that computing technology can barely touch. Key to brain success is the neuron's efficiency in serving as both a processor and memory device, in contrast to the physically separated units in modern computing devices. There have been many attempts to make computing more brain-like, but a new effort takes it all a step further by integrating real, actual human brain tissue with electronics. It's called BrainAware. How original. And it works. A team led by engineer Feng Guo of India University Bloomington fed it tasks like speech recognition and math problems such as nonlinear equation prediction. It was slightly less accurate than a pure hardware computer running on artificial intelligence, but the research demonstrates an important first step in a new kind of computer architecture. So, this is what's going on behind the scenes. You can't believe what they're telling you, that this is new, okay? If they're telling us about it, that means it's been done and been here for a while. So, here is what they're doing inside OpenAI with QStar, okay? Satan has showed them how to build this technology through leading their spirits astray. And now they have built the opening of the genie's bottle. And the genie has come out. And so begins the rise of the Antichrist electric prison. The way is being paved. Soon Kamala will come in. Civil war will begin. The Constitution will be done away with, making way for people to accept Obama with open arms. Anything but Kamala, people will say. They'll be so happy to have their new Antichrist overlord. This is what's coming, and it's coming quick. Well, guys, that's all I got for you today. I hope and pray that I brought this forth in a manner that was understandable, in a manner that will edify you and your spirit. I know this information is not fun to listen to. No one wants to hear this stuff. It's not going to be fun to have to witness these things taking place. This is why it's so important that we shore up our relationship with Jesus. If we don't have a sure relationship with Jesus, then we are in trouble. Understand that this world, especially America, is going to come to its knees. America is going to suffer complete destruction. Complete. God says he's going to erase it from the table of nations, okay? There will be no more America, and the rest of the world is going to suffer as well. But America will be destroyed as we are Mystery Babylon, and that's what we have coming to us. The only way you're going to be protected through this destruction and chaos and all the horrible things that are about to unfold is to be shored up with Christ, to have your faith be sure, to not waver, because Christ is going to be your strength. He will be your protection. That does not mean you're not going to go through hard times. That means that he's going to be there with you to comfort you. He will keep things from you. He will keep the evil from you. That doesn't mean you won't see evil. It just won't affect you. Read Psalm 91. Okay? Though 1,000 may fall at your left hand and 10,000 at the right, it will not come near you. You're going to have to witness many things that are going to try your spirit. And without Christ, or without a sure relationship with Christ, you're not going to make it. And I'm not telling you this to scare you. I'm telling you this because it's true. The Bible says, if the righteous scarcely be saved, okay? Only a few make it. Back when the Lord destroyed the world in Noah's day, only 8 made it. But only Noah himself was righteous. So understand, we have the Spirit of Christ in us now. So there is a lot more hope for us who have the Spirit of Christ, who can help us to overcome and be strengthened in these times that are upon us, than they had back in the day when the destruction in Noah's time took place. Okay? This is the new covenant, the New Testament. We have the Holy Spirit living within us, and He will be our guide. And as long as our faith doesn't waver from the things that are coming on this earth, then we will be protected. And if the Lord decides to take us out of the way, then He will take us out of the way. If He decides that it's time for our life to be over, then that's what happens. But no matter what, you must trust in the Lord. You must be like Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego and walk into the furnace if that's what it calls for. If you need to be beheaded instead of receiving the mark, then that's what you need to do. If you need to be thrown into the lion's den, then that's what you need to do. This is where your head has to be at. And the only way it can be there is if you have a relationship with the Lord. Not a religion, a relationship. Just as you have a relationship with your parents, you need to have a relationship with God. You need to talk to Him. You need to converse with Him. You need to pray to Him. You need to have a relationship. You need to know Him, and He needs to know you. And He needs to know that you know Him and are obedient and will walk in His ways. And He will keep you from what's going to come on this earth in one way or another. So prepare your spirits and get ready, because this is right around the corner. And we're running out of time. Share this message. Share the gospel. Help people see the truth, because time is short and a very small number of us can see the truth. So it's up to us to share it with those who can't. Take care.